Marcus King had it all. Billionaire, ace pilot, founder of SkyTech Aviation, the company revolutionizing the skies. His face graced magazine covers, his name headlined every tech summit, and the world watched his every move. Women with perfect smiles and pedigrees circled him like moths to a flame. He dated none of them. The media painted him as mysterious, aloof. Some said he had commitment issues. Others guessed he hadn't met his match. The truth? Marcus was tired. Tired of flattery, of being treated like a prize, of conversations that circled status and never substance. What the world didn't see was the man behind the pilot's seat. Marcus came from nothing. A single mother who fixed cars by day and cleaned offices by night. He grew up in grease-stained garages, not glossy boardrooms. He never forgot. That's why he still walked the hangars himself, inspecting bolts, checking wings, listening not to reports, but to the quiet truths of machinery. That's where he first noticed her. She didn't even glance at him when he entered. While others straightened their posture or forced a smile, Emma Carter stayed bent over the engine, wiping oil from her hands, muttering softly as she recalibrated a pressure valve. Marcus watched. Not with interest but with curiosity. She caught an issue in the auxiliary hydraulic pump, one so subtle the system hadn't flagged it. She logged it anyway in handwriting on paper. Old school. Thorough. He checked her log after she left. Every note was sharp, precise. No corners cut. No ego. Just the kind of vigilance he respected. She wasn't climbing the ladder. She was focused on doing the job right, even if no one ever noticed. Over the next few weeks, he kept spotting her. Same hangar. Same focus. Always the last to leave, always walking home instead of driving. Most called her quiet, even cold. Marcus saw something else, clarity. During a routine inspection, he finally spoke to her. Asked about a misfiring sensor the senior engineer said was minor. She didn't hesitate. Told him it wasn't minor. Told him why. He listened. She didn't flinch. No nervous energy, no over-explaining. Just facts. Later, he ran a test. She was right. Marcus started showing up more. Not for her, at first. For the details. But she kept catching things others didn't. One night, she stayed 3 hours late recalibrating an actuator. Alone. No supervision. No recognition. That night, Marcus left a note on her workstation. Clean work. Good eye. She never mentioned it. But the next day, her inspection logs doubled in clarity and depth. Not for credit. For the machine. For the mission. The engineers noticed his attention. Whispers started. Some smirked. But Marcus didn't care. He wasn't interested in the noise. He was watching something different. Not just a mechanic. A mind sharper than the software. A presence steadier than any autopilot. And for the first time in a long time, Marcus King felt less alone in the sky. Emma Carter didn't care who Marcus King was. To her, he was just another pair of boots walking across the hangar floor. She cared about torque specs, sensor readings, and making sure the engines didn't lie. Her job wasn't glamorous. It was necessary. She'd been invisible her whole life. At school, in meetings, in the shop. She didn't push. Didn't complain. Just worked harder. She'd learned early that being right didn't matter unless someone was willing to listen. But Marcus listened. That was new. He didn't talk down to her. He asked questions, sharp ones. Not for show. For understanding. When she explained why a coolant line was 3 degrees off spec, he nodded once and adjusted the system parameters. No praise. Just quiet acknowledgement. That was enough. Word spread fast. The billionaire pilot was spending time with the mechanic girl. Some laughed. Some sneered. She ignored all of it. But she noticed something else. He wasn't like the executive. He remembered numbers. Noted small inconsistencies. Watched the crew the way she watched engines. Looking for what didn't fit. One afternoon, she left her notebook open on the bench. Full of scribbled logs, error patterns, flagged irregularities. Stuff she recorded that no one ever reviewed. He read it. Every page. The next morning, she found access granted to Skyteca's prototype hangar. No explanation. Just a badge. She didn't ask why. She used it. Inside, she found system redundancies no one else had tested. Minor flaws buried under perfect simulations. She logged everything. Quietly. Marcus reviewed her work. Said only 4 words. Let's take this further. He gave her data access. Full diagnostic permissions. It wasn't protocol, but he didn't care. She was solving problems no one else even noticed. The engineers grew restless. One tried to overwrite her findings. Another suggested she was manipulating Marcus. She stayed silent. Let the results speak. When a guidance module failed a stress test she predicted, Marcus didn't call a meeting. He called her. "Show me what you saw," he said. She did. After that, no one questioned her access again. He started relying on her. Trusted her instincts over polished report. She caught patterns in error logs that hinted at something deeper, intentional misconfigurations. She brought it to him. Quiet voice, steady eyes. Someone's altering the code. He didn't blink. Just said, "Keep going." And for the first time, Emma realized she wasn't just solving technical issues. She was part of something bigger. Not because someone gave her permission. Because she earned it. "You said." Emma kept digging. The anomalies weren't random. Lines of code tweaked just enough to degrade performance, not trigger alarms. She traced timestamps, version logs, user IDs. Someone inside Skytech was sabotaging systems from within. Marcus took her findings seriously. No press. No boardroom drama. Just action. He built a small, silent task force. Emma ran point on the technical side. She didn't ask for permission. She didn't need it. The deeper they looked, the clearer it became. Test results had been manipulated. Flight logs forged. A pattern emerged. Data changed before investor demonstrations, covering critical failures. Whoever it was knew the system inside out. Emma narrowed it down to 5 people with access. One name stood out, Calder Voss, Senior Engineering Director. Respected. Polished. Untouchable. Marcus knew confronting him outright would tip him off. So he watched. Observed Calder's schedule, his habits, his network. Emma monitored back-end access in real time. Then the break came. A misstep. Calder tried to cover a fuel line fault, one Emma had already locked for audit. His override triggered a silent flag. They had him. Marcus didn't explode. No threats, no scene. He invited Calder to a quiet dinner, recorded the conversation. Let him talk. Let him admit just enough. The next day, Calder was gone. Official story, personal leave. Real story. A deal, resign quietly or face criminal charges. Marcus cleaned it up fast. Emma's role was never mentioned. He protected her from the spotlight. But inside Skytech, the story moved fast. Some whispered in respect. Others in resentment. Her promotion came without fanfare. Lead systems analyst. Some engineers quit. Others adapted. She kept her head down, just like always. But Marcus changed. He started looping her into strategy meetings. Trusted her with decisions he never delegated before. And she delivered. Flawless diagnostics, efficient redesigns, solutions others missed. They weren't friends. Not exactly. Not yet. But there was a rhythm now. Trust. Unspoken understanding. She never asked for thanks. He never offered flattery. They didn't need it. Emma didn't know when it shifted. One day they were just solving problems. The next, he was waiting for her opinion before signing off on designs. Then he was checking in between meetings, asking how her father was doing, noticing when she skipped lunch. She kept her guard up. Men like him didn't fall for mechanic. Not seriously. And she wasn't about to be a temporary distraction. But Marcus wasn't chasing her. He was choosing her. Quietly. Consistently. He stopped attending high-profile events. Turned down interviews. Spent more time in the hangars, less on stages. When investors pushed for a new PR campaign, he said no. One night, he invited her to a test flight, just the two of them. She hesitated. He said nothing, just left the keys on her bench. She showed up. They flew in silence for a while. He let her take the controls. She didn't ask. He didn't instruct. It just happened. When they landed, he looked at her like she was the only person who ever understood the sky the way he did. She didn't smile. Just said, "You're not what people think you are." He replied, "Neither are you." After that, it was inevitable. He didn't take her to fancy dinners. He showed up at her place with takeout and schematic. They talked about failure rates and family. He opened up, about the pressure, the isolation, the weight of being seen but not known. She told him she didn't want to be rescued. He said he wasn't offering rescue. Just a place next to him. The board wasn't happy. Whispers of favoritism. Shareholders concerned. He shut it down with one line, "She's not here because of me. I'm here because of her." Then came the gala. Industry's biggest night. He walked in late, no entourage, no statement. Just Emma in a simple dress, hair tied back. No pretense. He introduced her as his partner, personally and professionally. Some jaws dropped. Others watched in silence. When a reporter asked why her, he didn't hesitate. She sees what others don't. She fixes what others ignore. That's all I need. He proposed a week later. No spotlight. No press. Just a quiet moment, and a ring forged from the metal of their first repaired aircraft. She said yes. Not because of what he had, but because he never once asked her to be anyone but herself. The headlines came fast. Billionaire pilot marries mechanic. The photos were everywhere. Emma in her work boots one day, a ring on her hand the next. The public devoured it. Comment sections lit up. Some called it a fairy tale. Most didn't. They called her a climber, a fraud, a lucky nobody. Picked apart her clothes, her posture, her past. Accused her of manipulation, ambition, deceit. Emma ignored it, until they showed up at her father's clinic. Until strangers yelled at her in the street. Until her father's health spiraled from the stress. Marcus offered to fight back. She said no. Then the photos leaked. Edited images, fake timestamps, suggesting she was involved in the Calder sabotage. A smear job. Calculated. That night, Marcus didn't speak. He launched a counter-investigation. Quiet. Precise. His legal team tracked the source to a rival firm. Former SkyTech execs trying to destabilize the company's leadership by targeting Emma. He didn't hold a press conference. He dropped court filings. Names, dates, proof. Then he did something no one expected. He put Emma on stage. SkyTech's annual conference. Thousands of eyes. She didn't want it. He said, "They made you visible. Now show them who you are." She walked out in her work shirt, no script. Spoke for 7 minutes. Explained failure rates, data integrity, safety flaws she caught that saved lives. Finished with one line, "You don't need to be seen to make an impact. But when you are, stand your ground." The room stood silent. Then erupted. After that, the noise shifted. Engineers reached out. Young women sent messages. Industry leaders asked to meet. Marcus stepped back. Let her lead. She'd earned every bit of respect. Not by shouting. By being undeniable. Emma ran SkyTech's operations now. Not on paper, but in reality. Every major system passed through her scrutiny. Every prototype bore traces of her thinking. Smarter circuits, cleaner code, safer flights. The staff who once questioned her now followed her lead without hesitation. She didn't demand authority. She earned it through precision and consistency. Marcus focused on strategy. He piloted less, delegated more. Trusted her with the guts of the company. What they built together went beyond engineering. It was a culture shift. Quiet excellence became the standard. They uncovered more sabotage. Buried contracts, misallocated funds, quiet partnerships designed to bleed Skytech from within. Emma found the patterns. Marcus executed the fallout. Not a single press release. Just cold, clean removals. She trained a team of overlooked minds, technicians, analysts, coders who had been sidelined for not playing politics. She didn't give speeches. She gave them work that mattered, and they rose. Marcus proposed a redesign of Skytech's leadership board. Half of them resisted. Emma gave them data. Productivity, safety, innovation all improved under her influence. Numbers left no room for argument. Resistance collapsed. They turned the company into something new. Not just profitable, but principled. Marcus didn't parade it. He let her results speak. Outside the walls, the world changed. Competitors tried to mimic their model. Failed because they copied process, not purpose. What made Skytech different wasn't tech. It was trust. Marcus and Emma married quietly again. Just the two of them this time, no photographers, no headlines. She wore a jacket stained with engine grease. He wore the same flight boots he'd tested in years ago. They didn't talk about forever. They talked about tomorrow. About what still needed fixing. And every morning after that, they showed up like always, before the lights came on, before anyone else arrived. Not for applause. For the work.